Alright. Well, sorry guys. I did the if you missed some portions of stuff, we did just talk about the update. There is an update available. Let me be clear. Um there is an update available to the 1.56 to 1.59 upgrade to 1.6. Unfortunately, I cannot upgrade to 1.6 yet because of missing some DLC and some things that not missing DLC but some mod stuff that's going to break the system. Um that is going to break the system for me in order to play. I am going to tell you that is pretty much basically what's going on. Um because we have the mods and mods I prioritize my mods. So yes, 1.6 is available. We've got the game radio update for it. Um, Jobs widgets got there. To be more precise, it's going to take us down here to the blog post. The changelog basically just comes up with the radio station update, um, the material system, um, the Volvo FH6 update, and the jobs widgets got an update too, as well as an extended rest mechanic. The rest mechanic is going to be a little bit different. The mandatory break. There will be a mandatory brake system indicated by a P icon, along with the remaining hours before a required stop functions. More strictly in Euro Truck Simulator 2, drivers may drive up to 10 hours before taking a mandatory break, which requires 9 consecutive hours of rest. You can you can read more about the feature. Now, of course, that is only for this right here, but that's just it. Um, that's all there is to this update. They could have easily waited um to update it within another wait for it, but it's okay, it's whatever um that we've got available to us. Um we're going to finish up the job that we did for the last one that we are going to finish up. It's not going to be a long one. Um in return, but we've got a couple of things that are absolutely some things that are changing um in the way um that things are being shifted and being torn torn down. Um and what I mean by torn down is basically things that were are being changed in Japan for a certain some things. We're starting they're starting to implement LGBTQ into their education system as a new thing that they're going to start being able to teach, and we're starting to take that stigma away from the LGBTQ standpoint within Japan to basically putting the LGBTQ in front of it, meaning that the LGBTQ people are now going to start having a little bit more representation in Japan through education, through those those things. And of course, uh, it's one of those things where it's so much more um, good to see that at least a country that I didn't think like look, I love Japan. I think Japan should not change for what it is. Okay, I will admit that I've been watching a lot of Japanese videos, a lot of content creators from Japan compared to any other country. Okay, and to be honest, this is the only other country that I have more fun is for watching a lot of content creators, not just through Japan, but through the lens of seeing it through people who have lived there for a guy who has lived there for 30 years, married to a Japanese woman, is a resident of Japan, um, as well. And I've watched a guy who's come from the UK, a guy who used to live in Canada, who's a Canadian, now lives in Japan too, um, and seeing the importance of watching. I watch a guy that's um how can I put it this way? I watch a couple of people who are also um you know, I watch a single guy that is relatively um genuinely uh younger on the younger side of things, and of course travels a lot, but lives in Japan. And seeing that you know and that is kind of the things that I look and I pay attention to, is seeing what goes on and understanding that Japan is not what I want it to completely. I don't want Japan to change for I want Japan to stay the way it is, to stay the way that things are like it. But of course, I am going to have a slight thing that I said I want to be able to keep it the way it's going for it. Like I don't think Japan should be becoming like a Western type of a country. But at the same time, there's only one thing that pretty much basically I let them be them, um, and let them follow the rules and pay attention to doing a lot of things, making things the way that it is. But of course, there is some things that need to be done, because a lot of people tend to go to Japan. A lot of people tend to really go and actually put Japan as a destination on their list. Of course, when you go to Japan, you don't just go to Japan and experience Japan as a way of um, forcing it or changing the way that Japan is. When you go to Japan, don't just go to Japan and think you're going to be able to do everything you want. Um, because one of the things, no, nice. Because one of the things you should really focus on is that when you go to Japan, is that look around you and don't just go to Japan and think that you're gonna be able to do the things you do here in America or the things you do in your home country. Because when you go to Japan, don't litter. Please don't litter. It's one of those things that you may be able to do it here in America, but you should not be going out and making the point of they don't have trash cans like we do in America. Okay? That in America um we shouldn't even be doing the same things that Japan does. Like we shouldn't be literally littering like Japan does. We should be keeping our place nice and tidy and clean, and things like that. And I think that, but here in America, we have a lot of trash cans that are available in a lot of places, that are, in parks and things, and they have a lot of where trash cans usually are, but most of the time it's businesses. What we should really be focused on is spending our time sitting there and actually looking at Japan and being like, Japan needs to stay the way it is, shouldn't be forced to change. They like to, if you go to Japan and you want to complain about them not about them wearing masks, when you don't understand the culture, you don't understand their way of life, you don't understand it because you aren't a Japanese, because you aren't a Japanese person, and you don't seem to really understand. Like, I was watching a thing the other or reading a thing the other day about somebody basically saying they still wear masks because it's 2026 and we're done with COVID. No, a lot of people don't realize that Japan didn't start this in 2020 because of mask wearing. Japan has always worn masks. Okay? Japan has always done it. If you're sick, they wear masks. Are you are expected to wear a mask if you are sick. It's common sense over there. That's just one of those things that. Ow, ow, wow, wow, wow. That you're expected to and follow a lot of those rules. Like, you shouldn't litter. Like, you litter, you're having some problems. They're implementing a 3,000 a 13 um 2,000 yen basically for in a certain district where littering is a problem. They're now starting to basically go after people who do litter. $2,000 for 2,000 yen, not $2,000, 2,000 yen. You think that 2,000 yen is $2,000. No, it's 2,000 yen is it used to be that 2,000 yen used to be $20. Okay, 1,000 yen used to be $10. It's not that way anymore, because of the exchange rate. So it's more like $13 now, or whatever. But you got to think about these things. You got to think about the way that Japan does their content and the way that things are being done and being supported by that. That Japan is a place that, yes, I think we should have the availability for LGBTQ people to have some rights and existence in Japan. Okay, I do think that should be a given, but that's just a human kind of thing. I don't want Japan to change because of the temples. I don't want Japan to change because of Western society forcing Japan to be something that they're not, or forcing them to change when it shouldn't be happening. Okay, Japan should just be Japan. That's going back to there. It's going to, and now we're gonna take you. Okay. Um. And there's a lot of these things that people think that, you know that you should be looking at Japan and saying, "Oh well, well they had, oh you." It's like, stop complaining about what you don't know about. Okay, you don't know the, like, I was watching today with, or reading today on a article from Fox News about Fox News and them talking about a detransitioner who, at 14 years of age, didn't know any better about that. Basically now it's like she's regretting it now. It's like you're regretting it now. What? You're gonna go and complain that the doctor was at fault for this? This wasn't the doctor's fault. This was your fault. If you now, if you were 14 and you should have what should have happened is you should have done it then. You should have complained then, but you didn't, because you thought it was a good thing then, and now you regret it. It's like, it's like, wait, did I just, I have not picked up that thing. I thought I did. Hold on. I'm still gonna load a previous save anyway, because I need to. Not to finish this, but just because I started that job that I was supposed to do, and then I didn't pick it up. I'm gonna go back one extra. I'm just gonna go back one. Okay. So no, so I was just seeing how far back that would go, how far back it would save. Okay, so we'll just stick with what we've got. It because I'm like, what? I don't have enough time to turn around and come back. So I need to pick up this thing here. The freight market. Now I could take this, which is going to give me that more, but I'm not carrying that. I'm going to take the sawdust. Sawdust down there. But it's one of those things where a lot of these people don't quite really understand that you look at these places and you look at these countries. Don't force a country to change its ways to do it unless it's directly going to really harm you in any way, shape, or form as a citizen of the United States or a citizen of your home country. Okay? It's one of those things. And look, Russia, one of the things that was going on that actually happened today was that Russia was basically going to end up take over Ukraine. It's 4 years. We're 4 years into this war with Russia versus Ukraine, and Ukraine is fighting back really nicely. Ukraine is doing a lot better. Is doing a lot better now than it was when it started. And Ukraine's just finally taking to Putin and saying, you know, the United States isn't going to help them anymore. So they basically figured out they're just going to find alternatives from the United States that, you know, have been better at doing it, you know. And to be honest, a lot of this stuff what's going on within Ukraine is they're doing things. Now, of course, we also have to talk about the Xbox situation. We're gonna pivot away from politics, of course, but you know, is really is Xbox really falling? Look at how slow that is. Are any of these cars gonna let me go through? Because this is gonna take us. Yeah, look at how backed up this traffic is. Look at that. I'm like, I'm just gonna see if I can squeeze in here. But the situation going on right now with the Xbox is a not a great situation. We've got a problem going on. You know, Xbox is falling apart. Not only is Xbox falling apart, but it's falling apart because of Microsoft, not because of Xbox itself. Microsoft, the problem is they went all in on digital only. And in 20 back when the Xbox One came out, they were going all digital, and it's literally horrible. I think it's been the fall since then that Xbox has really fallen apart. But of course, it's not just Microsoft. PlayStation's falling apart in some places too, and and things. But it's not as bad as say Microsoft as Xbox is. Xbox, the whole situation with the falling out of a lot of these companies, like you're basically not making a lot of things. You bought freaking Activision Blizzard, thinking that Activision Blizzard was gonna save freaking Xbox. Xbox is not gonna be saved by Activision. Xbox is not going to be saved by it, because if you're going to consistently release games on other platforms, people are not going to go out and buy an Xbox. I, I will tell you, the last good Xbox I have played on was an Xbox 360, and I still have that system today. The only system from the entire Xbox ecosystem was the Xbox 360. The only the only other system that outbeats the Xbox 360 was the previous generation with the PS2. Those are the only two systems that really shine bright when it comes to systems that do it right. You know, and PC. To be honest, PC is the other one that I really like the most compared to the other things. Now, this does not mean that PlayStation is bad. It does not mean that they've gotten worse over the years. I'm just saying the reason why that I give the PS2 is because it's such a vast library and a lot better things that actually suit well for it. And things. And it's not that um that Xbox has completely failed. I will say that there are some good titles out there that I will admit that are great. Um, Age of Empires 2. I don't care if I get a red light violation. I'm not gonna care. Um, was pretty much basically, there's only like 3 titles that Xbox has released within the past like 10 years that have actually really got me wanting to play the games, to be honest. And to be honest, not many titles from Xbox are like, yeah, whatever. I don't go out and actively buy an Xbox system. I don't go out and actively buy a lot of Xbox titles because of it. But the only, not counting, I'm not gonna count Call of Duty, because to be honest, that wasn't necessarily a Call of Duty title. Um, there's only about 3 games, to be honest, that are Xbox titles that I pretty much basically play on a daily basis. Is Age of Empires 2, Definitive Edition. Because occasionally it's not something I regularly play here on the channel or stream it. But it's one of those things that the only other game that I have played from Xbox within the recent timing within the last 10 years is Halo Master Chief Collection. Is the only other title that I have played in earnest and still enjoy it to this day. So hasn't been, and the only other title that I have played that I own that wasn't owned under Microsoft was Deathloop, and it was underneath that portion, but it was under Bethesda and it was supposed to come out for PlayStation anyways. So it's like I don't play a lot of these titles. These Microsoft titles. I'm not like an active I'm not an active person that goes out and and plays Xbox just because Xbox has not done really a lot of good games recently. Um, you know, I haven't really gone out and actually picked an Xbox or a PlayStation or just picked it because of that. A lot of things came down um to uh a lot of the things that came down to me purchasing or wanting to buy the Xbox franchise or to buy the the certain things within it. The only other game that there's only like been about like 2, 3 games that are really good from Xbox that I want that probably will never that I wanted that never gonna come out because um that might never come out now because of issues. Like there was a Clockwork Revolution, I think. It was a Clockwork game that they recently announced that I was interested in. There was a Perfect Dark sounded interesting to me. But Perfect Dark is not coming out anymore. You know, uh I haven't played a Hellblade. I never played Hellblade, the first one. I never played the second one, but I wanted to play them. But I just haven't had. But there were other games that just are out there, and now the Senua isn't coming out either. So it's like they're shutting down some of these Xbox studios. Are you freaking serious? That and now you're seeing a lot of things swirling that Xbox is going to drop these companies or get rid of the like what Microsoft really just needs to do is just give up Xbox, sell it off, actually just let it be on its own. Because I think Microsoft should really just let Xbox do its thing. You know, there was another game that I was also interested in that kind of flopped, in my opinion, and that was the game for whatchamacallit, Starfield, and that kind of like nah, didn't seem interested to me. A lot of people were saying it wasn't great. A lot of people were saying that, and it's like where has Microsoft gone? Like I literally will tell you, like a lot of the Microsoft titles, a lot of the things, like I would prioritize an Xbox 360 to play a lot of these games over the PS3. And to be honest, I still do. I prefer Microsoft Xbox 360 because guess what? There are two things that I can do with an Xbox 360 that I can't do with a PlayStation. Okay? First off, an Xbox 360, I can I can play my game, live streaming it through HDMI without having to be worried about a um, hardware lock. Um, are you are you freaking serious? Like this part of this road, like I am slowing down to this point, and they're like not giving me that opportunity. It's like you're going downhill now with this one, and this makes it really challenging. It's like it says it's 60 miles an hour, but I don't think it should really be marked as 60 miles an hour going through here. I think it really should be marked 30. To be honest, I'm like, geez, 30 kilometers an hour. But Xbox is kind of one of those systems that you know, that's not doing so well, not doing the best, because they haven't, like, they've made games that sound good, that sound great, but on that, but then they go and it's like people are buying Game Pass. People are out there. Yeah, I'm not going. You know what? No, I will go a little bit faster. I'll go 43 kilometers an hour. Um, it's not 50 miles an hour. Like, I believe, like, if we go 50 miles an hour, it's not quite as decent. But it's one of those things where, you know, when the Xbox versus PlayStation, like, I went out there, and I'll tell you this. I went out and bought, before the new generation. I didn't even think they were right around the corner. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't really pay attention to a lot of gaming. I did, but, you know, I could have bought an Xbox. I could have bought a PlayStation. I could have, um, bought one of those systems. I went out and bought a PlayStation 4. Well, of course, that PlayStation 4 is only meant for digital games, not for physical, because the disc drive is really horrible. Okay, yeah, it is 40 around here. I don't know why I was going. I don't know why I was going speedily around this. But it's one of those things where, you know, I spend a lot of my time when the reason I went for PlayStation was because I thought that PlayStation 4 was backwards compatible. I don't, it wasn't, but I thought it was, kind of thing. But the PlayStation 4 just is kind of like, um, one of those things that that I love. It's one of the, like, if I had to basically rank the best companies that sold consoles that I've played before, that I have played, if we ranked PlayStation stuff, to be honest, a lot of people are gonna say, you're gonna, a lot of people are gonna probably look at me and be like, for what it's worth, and the same with Xbox. The best Xbox, it goes pretty much basically Xbox 360, OG Xbox, then it will go Xbox One and then the Xbox Series. Like, I have not touched the Series, but from what I've seen, it's like it does not look like it's a great system. Um, then when it comes to PlayStation side of things, it's going to be a lot different. I'm gonna put the PS2. I'm gonna put PS2. I'm gonna put the PS5, and I'm gonna put PS. Basically, it's gonna be PS2, um, uh, PS2, PS5, um, PS4, PS5, right there together. They're tied. And then I'm gonna put the PS3, then the PS1 in persnickety. No. And to be honest, ranking it like that, um, to be honest, I will tell you, the whole reason why the PS1 is not, it's not because of the graphics or anything. Um, Actually, to be honest, um, I'd actually put, like, basically, from ranking it, Um, that's just basically, you know, like I said, I'd put PS5 down, put PS5 up above. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to change the thing is where I'll put PS1. I mean, PS2 is number one. And then I would put PS4, PS1, PS5, and then PS3. Now, that does not mean that these systems are inherently bad. The reason why I'm putting the PS2 at the highest is because of the game selection, because of the things that it was long supported till 2014. It was basically where it was basically PS2 ended in 2014. Um, it was the longest running, I think, the longest running available system to play games on. Um, the only and the handhelds, if I fit the handhelds in there, I'm still gonna put PSP in there with next to the the PS2, because to be honest, um you know, I haven't played the Vita. I have not seen the Vita. The thing is I think I wish that Sony had just let the PS Vita use the same proprietary thing that they did with the PSP. They could have done that. They could have made it better a little bit in regards of memory. They could have put better things in the, and I think a lot of it, if Sony does another portable system, I think they can get away with having an SSD in there, an NVMe SSD to be more precise. Um, and things like that. But you know, they haven't done um enough for where it's there. But um the whole reason why the PS5 is not as high as it is because of the way that they have moved a lot of their content to basically saying digital. um like, I'm not a big fan of digital games, but I do play a lot of digital. Like, I'm not a big huge fan of not digital, but I'm think of basically the reason why the PS5 is not as high as it is not because of that, but just because of the sheer lack of customization on things, um, and a few other things that you know that are there, um, and a lot of things becoming more not doing what the consumer wants in some of these regards, failing on a lot of things, trying to trace trends when they shouldn't really chase trends. In a lot of things, they should just do their own thing and not chase after marathon. Like, it's one of those things where a lot of people play Destiny 2 and they're gonna shut that thing down. It's really sad to see that happen. Um, and it's one of those things that really bothered me a lot with these with the PlayStation, is that they're not doing great either because of the PS5. Now, of course, I do like some things with the PS5. I like the haptics feedbacks. I like the the way that the games are presented. PlayStation just seems to do a little bit better with a lot of their games. They know what their audience is in most cases, not completely, um, but um, um, and they do a lot better at things than um, than than Xbox does. But one thing that they did do that they shouldn't have done was release to PC. Um, Current Sony shouldn't have released a lot of their games to PC unless it's like a unless it's like Destiny or something. Like what they should really do is if you're gonna be an open book like Destiny, you should, or a game that's like a thing like Marathon. Marathon should be released on all these platforms in regard to a lot of these things. But see, the thing is, um, it's like the whole reason that the PS2 just gets so much higher is just because the PlayStation 2 just absolutely biggest library, absolutely knows what the people did, the being able to watch DVDs whenever you wanted to, biggest DVD, cheapest DVD player, the best system in all of its entirety. And I think what really brought more people to DVDs was because of PlayStation. Making it cheaper, subsidizing it through gaming, and that. But it's just one of those things that um that I don't like about PlayStation is just the requirement of controllers. The making controllers be required on a PlayStation that shouldn't be required. I should not be able to go and access a PlayStation and being able to require to just using this for a PS5 titles. They shouldn't have not third party license. They should allow the controller that I'm currently utilizing is a ROG Candy. They should be allowed to PDP is a PDP product. PDP ROG Candy. Um, it should be allowing third party controllers that 8-bit dough and some of these other things that really need to be supported on a platform like that. They need to have more ways for people to do it because I'm not going to sit there and pay to have a controller break to have controllers break. The whole point of why the PS2 gets so much more is like I still have controllers that do not have stick drift whatsoever to this day. Okay, and the PlayStation 5 controllers are having stick drift. I don't know what's going on. Why stick drift is having to happen after I've had my ping controller from PlayStation is here and now has stick drift. It's like they don't make the way that they used. They don't make controllers the way they used to. And a lot of these things where controllers are nasty, are not nasty, but are not built to higher standard. You know, I'm like, we should be making sure that these controllers last longer than they should, so that people don't have to consistently go out and buy controllers. They should be lasting 5-6 years than the average 2 years, 2-3 years. Because I bought that controller, I think like last year or the year before, um, that I bought that controller, and these plates directly from PlayStation, by the way. Um, uh, and and the controller is already falling apart. I am. I'm going to tell you that I do not agree with the sentiment with controllers, and that's the reason why the PS5 doesn't get as high of a praise as say the PS2 though. For a lot of some of these things that could have been better for it. And same with the Xbox. Like the best controller, the best controller I like is the Xbox 360 wired controller. I have that. Um, I have that controller, that the wireless controller. That's still great controller. I like the best controller though isn't the PS2 controller though. The best controller is going to be the Xbox 360 controller. Like I absolutely this actually the best controller right now is the controller I have right in my hand. Um it just fits nicely. This pink Switch 2 controller. The Switch 2 controller absolutely is the best controller. Not the Switch 2, but the Switch controller. This third party $20 Switch controller is so much better than the $60 controller or $70 controller that a PlayStation or an Xbox has put out. That just seems to be like they don't know how to make a controller. They don't know how to do a controller for it. They don't seem to really know how to create good controllers. And it's really one of those things that and to be honest, the second best controller is going to be that PS2 controller. For me, I will tell you the wired Xbox 360 controller that I have is so much better than a wireless controller. It's not that I don't have anything against wireless controllers. My other favorite controller is the PS4 controller. To be honest, I like that controller. That's a great controller. I don't like controllers that require battery, that I have to require a battery to go out and buy, like a battery for PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. For it, I don't think that controller should be. It's 2026. We should not be using little bit of batteries for our controllers. Going out and have to buy AA batteries or anything like that for it. If you really think about it, for me the best Nintendo, even going through the best Nintendo system, and I pretty much will tell you that it is not the Switch. Okay, a lot of people will say, "Oh, the best Nintendo system is the Switch." For me, no, it's not. It's a lot of people will think that it's an older Wii. It's not the Wii. I like the Wii, but it's not the Wii. The oldest, best system that I love is the GameCube. Okay, the best Nintendo product is the GameCube. And I have played the N64 and I have played an NES. I still think the N64 is, the GameCube is the best out of all of the Nintendo systems, with the Switch falling right behind it. Wii U following right after that. Um, but the Wii, I think the Wii failed a lot of it. Now, I think what they really need to really understand that I like the Wii. I will say the only of the best Nintendo systems were pretty much basically the GameCube, the Switch, and the Wii. Are my three top favorites. I don't like the N64 controller. It's one of the worst controllers, I think, that I have handed and or used for it. And to be honest, the worst controller that I have in my house, there isn't one. There isn't a really bad controller in my house except for the PS5 controller. I've never had stick drift on any controllers of any kind until the PS5. I have not really had issues with stick drift. I have actually a couple other controllers that do, but they're not officially licensed controllers, like officially controllers. The only one that I've had so far is this one right here. For it. So I will say Microsoft, but to be honest, getting back to the Xbox thing, it's Xbox, like they said, oh, Asher Sharma was gonna fix everything. Asher Sharma was gonna do everything and make things better. No, they gotta realize that you cannot physically change a company overnight and expect it to get better. You cannot change the government overnight, because when you expect to pay the tariffs, oh yeah, tariffs are good for maybe a day or two or whatever, but then in the long run it's going to harm actually society more than it's going to help society. What we're going to do, guys, as soon as I get over to here, we'll see where we're at on this, and then I'm probably gonna get off for the day because I need to. But it's one of those things where the more time that you spend trying to get these systems, or time to change the way the government or change the way that a business is run, you can't change and expect to change in a day. You cannot expect these things to magically just change overnight. Let you go by. Where you can't really expect things to just miraculously be hunky-dory. That's why when you look at what Biden was doing, when you look at what Trump was doing, a lot of people don't see the implications that happened in the first term of Trump. A lot of people thought, oh, Trump was great, Trump was doing great for the economy, great doing things, but you gotta realize that when you look at the things that have been going on with things that you can't, it's one of those things where when you look at it and you look at the places where you go from point A to point B or point B to point C, when you look at something that has been put into place at, say, 2017, let's just do 2017, and you look at it and it's like, okay, a year later, in 2018, that thing's gonna it's gonna start affecting the more and more that we do things, and the more that we go on and actually set up for the prosper of a lot of our countries and a lot of our businesses, that you can't think that it's going to take a year. Yes, a lot can change in a year. Companies can fall, companies can fail in a year because they make a bad mistake. Microsoft has done this. Microsoft going in all on Game Pass and making it as if Game Pass should be the priority. That Game Pass should be the one that we should be focused on. It shouldn't be, Game Pass should not be the focus. It should be a supplementary design, a thing that should not be in there as a priority. We should not be making games to be able to make Game Pass profitable. Game Pass is not going to be profitable. PlayStation, these streaming services do not make things profitable for what it's worth. A lot of times, things aren't going to be profitable when you have, for example, when you have a lot of places being through these multiple subscription services. Right now, if you're paying, let's just go through and say you're paying that $10.99 a month for PlayStation, because that's the thing that I know most about. You pay that $10.99 a month, then you pay your premium for your YouTube premium for like $15 a month. And no, it's not 15, it's like $16.99, $16 now. But I'm just saying, like, you start paying that for that. Then you start paying in, then you add Paramount. Okay, Paramount's yearly, so let's not do that. But you get the point that that when you add a thing, you pay for the internet. Let's say you pay $20 for internet. Now, $20 for the internet is not going to be the greatest thing. It's maybe $50 a month for internet. $50 for the internet monthly. $50 for internet. You already are tacking on a subscription service with things that are going to start making things more expensive. Making things out there where the more that you tack on, the more it becomes. Like, you add Netflix. $15 a month. $15 for that. $10.99 a month for the basic PlayStation. That's basically right there about 15 plus 11 makes it about $26 a month. Then you have to tack on, let's just say you tack on the internet bill, because you have to pay for the internet. You have to pay for that to access the internet. So then you pay, let's just say that you pay $40 on that. That's already $60 that you're paying monthly. That by the time you spend on even buying these services for streaming and having all these streaming services be there, you're spending way too much. You're spending more than what it's worth. A lot of people will then just tend to go to piracy, and pirating a lot of these things that shouldn't be pirated because risky business. It's risk to go out and go out and do these things. It's risk that you can lose a lot over on these places and these things that is there. Okay, so that right there, I'm pretty sure once I get rid of this here, now I could easily buy that and pay that off again, but I would still end up having to pay that much a month. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it just to clear out something just to get more money that I'm gonna end up having to pay anyway. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm waiting. I just have a for it. It's not worth it to spend more money than you absolutely shouldn't be spending. It's one of those things that you look at the things. Yes, it's nice to have, and you spend Fortnite, or you spend, like, if it gave me the opportunity, I would probably, I'll tell you, I don't watch ads. I absolutely hate ads. It's one of those things why I will never buy services that have ads. I want to remove the ads as much as I can. Miyazaki, Osaka. This one that we're supposed to be going to. So it's one of those things where I hate ads. And it's the only thing that I don't like ads. It's the thing, like, I don't want to be served ads that that are consistently being served to me, like Raid Shadow Legends, or ads that do not really serve any purpose. For me, it's like when I look at ads, it's like no, book off. Where when I go and look at these ad services, I am going to park it here, guys. Where I don't want to spend my time looking at ads that are getting served to me on a silver platter, where I sit there and I watch an ad that I get there and I'm watching like Tubi, or I'm watching a ad service, and I get the same ad consistently over the course of 10, 20, 30 times. I don't mind having an ad service where I will genuinely, like, okay, like, I don't care if they come out and put a Puma ads in front of me. I don't care if they come out and put those kinds of ads, things that I'm going to be, okay, I'm scrolling through the internet, I'm on a website, okay, I don't mind. What I do mind is when the service directly comes to the point where I'm going in there, I'm watching a TV ad where I consistently watch a Subway ad that happens to appear 5-10 different times through Subway, and I'm getting that same exact ad over and over again. Or I keep getting the same ad and I'm consistently sitting here like 3 or 4 days and I'm sitting here seeing the same ad over and over. That's kind of gets old. It's like I sit there and I'm watching Twitch, and I watch Twitch occasionally. I'm not like somebody that consistently watches Twitch 24/7. But when I do, I keep getting the same ads over and over again, and I keep when I get repeated ads, or when ads cut off the or ads that cut off the content when there's somebody trying to speak through a live stream and they cut that off, it really bothers me that much to doing so. When you go out and watch somebody, you go, okay, I'm watching this, and then they start talking about something important, and then ads start rolling in, and then I missed what they said. It really bothers me. That's a lot of times where I don't like watching content, when they just go automatically just say cut, put ad there. So that's kind of one of those things where I always will support those services that do spend more in terms of being there to reduce the ads. So I would tell you that you could probably get an ad block, but guess what? Getting an ad block is just not going to help you in some places, because YouTube's cracking down on that, and you gotta. What I'm going to tell you is, instead of going for the ad block. Okay, don't go for ad block. Unblock it. If you're gonna have an ad block, unblock it from YouTube. Okay, but instead of going for that ad block and not have to get rid of it from YouTube, go for ad block, and then go and go and get premium. Go and buy premium and pay for premium monthly to get those ads removed. And in turn, you're helping the content creator a little bit more on a daily basis. Yeah, it's a little bit more, but you're watching. If you watch YouTube on a consistent basis, that's actually a well worth it thing for you, because you're actually knowing that you're actually supporting these content creators a little bit more than you would normally if you were just watching ads and having AdSense being served for you. So go sign up for YouTube Premium. But anyway, I know it's one of those things where you know, the technology that we have and the technology that we have today is not what it used to be. It's not. It used to be, for me, I liked when we could be able to play games offline, when we did not have games to be always online. Like, to be honest, like, I grew up without having the internet to play video games. I did not grow up having an Xbox 360 until later in life. I did not have a PlayStation 4 or these online supported games until I got in 2013. Until the Wii, pretty much. I did not play a lot of online games until we had the Wii, and the Wii basically was the thing that got me into playing Call of Duty a little bit. Why I like Black Ops 1, why I prefer Modern Warfare 3 over the modern systems, over some of these things. Why over but anyway, I'm gonna tell you this, guys. I'm gonna get off. But if you guys want to see some content from me, I know today was supposed to be Final Fantasy 13, but it's what it is. I want to talk about this Xbox thing before it gets too far down the line. That we're gonna lose a lot of Double Fine. We're losing a lot of these companies that Microsoft is like. Xbox, they gave them free reign there, but I don't think, but they didn't give them directive and didn't help them continue to get better. It's like they're going to shut down games that actually, like, it might be games that are not doing well because they're prioritizing Game Pass, or they're prioritizing the PlayStation side of things. If they prioritize these games and left them on this, it's like Halo Combat Evolved, Halo Campaign Evolved. The next, I'm like, that's not something I want to buy when I already have the original Halo. Okay, Combat Evolved for the Xbox 360. I have the Halo Master Chief Collection. Why do I need to go out and spend a remake on a game that I can just go play on Halo Master Chief Collection? That's basically ruining Xbox, putting it on PlayStation, making games that are putting it out there. Like, I will tell you, some games like Age of Empires should, like, sometimes there's some things like Minecraft, like, that was originally started as a project from not Microsoft, and then Microsoft bought them. But that's the one that I kind of agree with, that being on multiple platforms, because it's a learning thing and it's played by a lot of people. But there are times where, in order to sell systems, you need to have those exclusive products put right there on these things. Don't just make Xbox a PlayStation. Don't just make Xbox a PC. Xbox is not a PC. Xbox is Xbox for a reason. And they're saying Xbox everywhere. It's like, no, your phone is not an Xbox. If it was an Xbox, it would have a controller to be able to play on it. It's not an Xbox. it's one of those things for it. And Xbox is just kind of like Phil Spencer didn't do great either. I feel like Phil Spencer might no they're going to bring back no. I had Glass tell me to bring back Phil Spencer. No, Phil Spencer was part of that problem. And now they're starting to look like they're starting to get rid of Xbox and they're going in all on AI. Microsoft is banking on AI being the bestest thing when it's not, and it should be spending more time on um, whoops whoops when Microsoft should be spending more time on making Xbox be a better to make it better, to make it much more growing. But the problem is, a lot of times, people are just fed up with like me, fed up with Windows. I don't like Windows. I will tell you, like, I play, as you guys know, as soon as I quit, I'm right here on Bazite, not on Windows. I literally sit here and play on Bazite. I use Bazite as my main platform to play games. As I use my PlayStation to play games. The only reason why Xbox is not doing so well is because I hate the way that the system is run, system is done. I hate the way that the system is not the greatest thing for every for anybody. Anybody shoving ads down your shoving things down your throat, putting news right there when I want news, I want to get it from where I want to get it from. I don't want it to get. I want to get what I want to see. I don't want to see news from on my operating system. I don't want to come in and push this and then see here news, see things that are there, and search when I want to search something. I want to be able to search for it. I don't want to be able to just search and then it pop up an internet search for that information. I want it to be just search for that application and not having AI built into it. So Microsoft is not doing as great as it should be. But I'm going to get off, guys. Make sure you guys hit that follow. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Remember, if you follow on Twitch, it's a great way to follow because you'll get notified when I do go live. I go live daily on Twitch every day except for Saturday, twice a day. Saturday I go once a day. I go once on Saturday, not twice. I go once at night. I go through it. Right now we are currently afternoons are currently single player content playable through PlayStation through things like Euro Truck, American Truck, Final Fantasy 13, City Skylines, things of that nature. But City Skylines is not going to be on afternoon. I was going to do season 5 as a live stream. I chose not to do that because we're doing instead I'll do that as video, but for YouTube. But we play in the afternoons. We do Rock Band 4, Clone Hero, YARK, things of that nature. Single player content. At night we do Fortnite, Call of Duty, and some other things. Tonight's going to be festivals, so if you want to see that and you're watching on YouTube, it's Thursday, the 18th, which we do play that at night. We play YARG at night. We play Call of Duty at night. At night. We play multiplayer at night, and that's going to be at 9 o'clock tonight. Hopefully, we'll do Fortnite. We do Festival. We do Save the World on Thursdays. And then Monday through Friday, we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays Fortnite. Unless we're done with the battle pass and some things, then we may play some little bit of extra stuff. We do Call of Duty. We do Call of Duty Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So if you want to see things like that, that's a great way to be followed on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, YouTube, on the other hand, if you guys hit that subscribe here, make sure you do that. You guys can get notified when I do post City Skyline stuff. When I post live streams, I post live streams daily in the afternoon. Primarily only afternoons. Sometimes you might see an occasional night stream when I forget to go live in the afternoon. So, and when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we will catch you guys in the next one.